Dear children, let us begin a new day with asking the blessing from the Almighty. Today let us begin a new chapter, chapter 6, World After 1945. World After 1945. So, we expecting a 3 marks and 2 marks question from this chapter. It's very important. Essay type question, 3 marks and 2 marks. So, you can expect 2 questions, such type of. So, prepare for a essay type question from this chapter. So, you can expect 1 3-mark question and 1 2-mark question from this chapter. The pages of history are full of innumerable wars and fought in India, ancient India, and under the world. And yet, the most destructive war was held in the modern, the First and the Second World War. The League of Nations were formed and the purpose of establishing the permanent peace in the world. But due to the certain limitations, it failed. And in 1913, the World War II broke out. And the First World War happened in 1914. And after almost 24, 34 and 25 years, 1935, 39, the Second World War broke out and disturbed the sanctum and honors of the world war to pursue that human beings once again make efforts to peace and peace. This resulted the establishment of United Nations in the year 24th October 1945. Very important day. The establishment of United Nations, 24th October 1945. Of course, you will get 1 mark. 24th October 1945, the establishment of the United Nations, shortly UN. UN means United Nations. The United Nations Charter. The United Nations Charter starts with the preamble. What is this United Nations Charter? Charter means a document. It's a document and certain rules and regulations written in it, and it is for the affiliated countries. What is that charter? There is a determination to save future generations from the pangs of destructive war. Emphasis has been laid on the developing tolerance mutually. Third point, economical, social and cultural problems should be solved. And lastly, appeal to the nations to cooperation and achieve this. So these all are the preamble that is written in the United Nations Charter. That means a cordial relation should be established. This is very important. What is called war? Through the World War II got over. This is after the end of the Second World War. Second World War के बाद में क्या हुआ वो बोल रहे. इसके बाद में क्या हुआ वो बता रहे. Through the World War got over, it resulted in the creation of America and Russia and superpowers while taking place of in place of England and France. Second World War के बाद में इंग्लैंड और फ्रांस को पीछे पछाड़कर और वहाँ 2 सुपर पावर आ गया, अमेरिका एंड रशिया. And Russia and America were together. Russian administration policy created differences. Thus, America and England separated. A strong competition between 2 superpowers, America and Russia, established the supremacy of the world. Who will be the superpolice? So, Second World War के बाद में ये दोनों फाइटिंग है. अमेरिका और रशिया के साथ में जो फाइटिंग था, who is the superpower? इसके बारे में वो फाइटिंग था. एक फाइटिंग धीरे धीरे डेवलप किया. पावर वाज सेंट्रलाइज्ड बिटवीन 2 poles, अमेरिका and Russia. Therefore, this time of period is considered as bipolar world order. Owing to the extremely tense relation between 2 blocks, this phase is known as Cold War phase. Second World War के बाद में, पोस्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर, सेकंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद में ये दोनों का बीच में, अमेरिका और रशिया के बीच में जो फाइटिंग हुआ था, who will be the सुपर पावर कौन होगा, इसके बारे में ये दोनों का जो फाइटिंग चलते रहते, उनको जो सिचुएशन को पर्टिकुलर एरिया का बोल रहे वर्ल्ड वॉर. There was a basic change in relation among the powerful nations of the world after World War II. Then, next page number 14. The world distributed among army groups. So the creation of different army groups, ये जो fighting था दोनों का बीच में, इनका result, it's resulted the fighting between what is NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It happened in April 1949, and SEATO, SEATO, that means Southeast Asian Treaty Organization, in 1945. One more military organization, CENTO, Central Asia Treaty Organization, was established in Middle Eastern countries under the leadership and inspiration of England. Here, various Arab countries joined CENTO and later on America took over the. So these all are the some new groups formed. One is NATO, NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. One is SEATO, Southeastern Asian and Trans Organization in 1945, and another one is CENTRO, Central Asia Treaty Organization. Then next paragraph, armament, disarmament, nuclear weapon creation and its application. So suddenly, the Cold War, which was meant for dominance called the World War, gave rise to the fierce competition among the superpowers. जो कोल्ड वॉर के बाद में जो कंपटीशन हुआ सुपर पावर के बीच में, and for the sake of dominance, armament race. In order to win the fighting, we need to raise more ammunitions चाहिए, firearms. So the way America proved its supremacy within next few years, Soviet Union to prove its capacity to making atom bombs by conducting nuclear tests. They started to making atom bombs and they started to conduct a nuclear bomb. America declared a blockade on communist Cuba, which was on the southeast. Suddenly, America declared a blockade against Cuba. Blockade means not supporting. Blocking something, पहले जो दे रहे थे उसको ब्लॉक कर दिया, मे बी हेल्थ सेक्टर में और एजुकेशन सेक्टर में और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट में. Then that what happened? Then the Soviet Union to defend the Cuba against the possible attack of America. So suddenly Americans smelled the attack from the Cuba. So the Americans sent some ships, but the Soviet Union sent their ships loaded with the nuclear missiles. इसको पता चला अमेरिका क्यूबा को अटैक कर रहा है, तो सोवियत यूनियन उनका शिप उसका सामने भेज दिया है. The world was almost the verge of nuclear war. Finally, the leaders of America and Soviet Union had talked with the hotline first time. क्यूबा अमेरिका अटैक करने प्लान किया है. So America smelled this one. उसने शिप भेजा है. अमेरिका शिप भेजा था, सोवियत यूनियन ने भी उनका शिप भेजा है. So there was a fight, terrible situation. Anytime anything can happen. And finally, they decided, the two leaders talked with the hotline. Then they decided to withdraw its ships. And this entire whole episode is known as Cuban Crisis. Cuban Crisis is a very important short note. What is Cuban Crisis? So this is the episode. So you please write down this small paragraph. What is Cuban crisis? Underline. This episode is very important. The episode world politics. It began communication between the two powers, and this helped to communicate. They started communication between the two superpowers. The entire Cuban crisis considered the beginning of the end of the Cold War. इसमें से एक पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट यही मिला है. This Cuban crisis that was the beginning of the end of the Cold War. So the leaders between these two countries started talking each other. American, Soviet Union and the Britain agreed the maintaining control over the nuclear production and experience. And this agreement is known as Partial Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, NTBT. PNGBT or Partial Nuclear and Test. So simply you can NGBT, Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. NGBT, Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. The France of course refused to sign this. लेकिन फ्रांस ने इसमें साइन करने के लिए मना किया. China also conducted nuclear test in 1964. And the next page we can see the rise of independent nations in Asia. The rise of independence. India achieved independence in 1947 after a long freedom struggle, about 100 years. Owing to Britain's policy of divide and rule, the certain other reasons the country divided into two nations, namely India and Pakistan. Of course, India achieved freedom, but as you know, it is divided. The whole country, the entire country is divided into two pieces. One is India and another one is Pakistan. The same way, the continuous struggle between Britain, like Sri Lanka, Myanmar got independence in 1948. In case of Indonesia, United Nations played an important role. And Asian countries like Colombia, Cambodia, Vietnam to got independence. The rise of independent nations in Africa. The Second World War proved to be a good omen. O-M-E-N. Omen means a sign of something to do will happen in the future. Omen means something new will happen. The Second World War proved to be something new for the enslaved nations of Africa. After the Second World War, countries like Abyssinia, South Africa, Egypt were independent. The Second World War and the freedom struggle, the Asian countries inspired other African countries too. It resulted that during the tenure of 16 years from 1951 to 1966, 40 small and large countries became free. This all happened after the Second World War. Imperialist countries tried to have supremacy over these countries, and they have either joined the supervised military resources and got their freedom. So we can finish up to here, and we will discuss what is non-aligned movement on page number 41 the next class. So what we have discussed today is the United Nations Charter, that is important, which are the preamble, and what is Cold War. This is very important. Cold War, fighting for the supremacy of the two countries. Then the world distribute among armed countries, and what is Cuban crisis, and the rise of independent Asia and the rise of independent nations in Africa. So that we have discussed in this chapter, in this lecture. So today's homework. So from this chapter, these pages, page number 39 and page number 40. So please find out the 5 MCQ questions, and also memorize what is Cuban crisis. What is Cuban crisis? Okay. So please complete it. 5 to 10. You can find out 5 to 10 MCQ questions from these 2 pages, and please send it to me. Okay. We will meet you. Next lecture we have to learn more things about non-aligned movements on the next class. Till then, take care. Bye bye.